Today we will continue discussing fairy tales. Today's fairy tale is titled The Three Billy Goats Gruff. After the fairy tale, we'll be discussing bridges, different types and what they can be made out of. What is a fairy tale? A fairy tale is a fictional story for children involving magical events and imaginary creatures. These stories are traditionally passed down verbally and include a magical quest, test, or transformation of some kind. These stories can be far-fetched and usually contain certain elements. These elements include a good character or hero that's usually royalty, a villain or wicked character. They're usually set in the distant past, have some sort of magic or enchantment, or can involve animals that either talk or act like humans. And most fairy tales contain a sort of lesson to be learned. These stories often begin with the opening "once upon a time" or "long ago," and usually end with "and they lived happily ever after." The following is an animated telling of the fairy tale, The Three Billy Goats Gruff, narrated by Richard E. Grant, music and sound by Steve Thomas, directed and animated by Neil Whitman. The video can also be found online at this following link. Please watch this video and see if you can see any of the elements I discussed on the previous slide.
Once upon a time, there were 3 Billy Goats Gruff. Little Billy Goat, middle-sized Billy Goat, and great big Billy Goat, who lived in a field in a green valley. They loved to eat sweet grass, but sadly, their field was now brown and barren because they were greedy goats and they'd eaten every last blade of grass. But they were still hungry. In the distance, they could see a field that was full of lush, sweet, scrummy grass. But alas, there was only one way to get to it, over a rickety bridge over a stream. But under the bridge lived a terrifically terrifying, terrible troll called Trevor. He was always hungry too, and there was nothing he liked better than to eat a nice juicy billy goat. The little billy goat was the first to reach the bridge. Gingerly, he put one hoof and then another onto the bridge, but because it was so rickety, however hard he tried, his hoof still went trip-trap on the wooden planks. Suddenly there was a huge roar. "Who's that trip-trapping over my bridge?" And out from under the bridge loomed the troll. Quaking in his hooves, little Billy Goat Gruff managed to squeak, "It's only me. I'm only going to look for some grass to eat." "Oh, no, you're not. I'm going to eat you for my breakfast, lunch, and tea." "Oh, no," said terrified little Billy Goat Gruff. "I'm just little Billy Goat Gruff. Why don't you wait for my brother? He's bigger than me and much tastier." So the greedy troll decided to wait, and little Billy Goat Gruff skipped over the bridge and began to eat the fresh green grass on the other side. The other goats saw little Billy Goat Gruff eating the fresh green grass and were jealous because they wanted some too. So middle-sized Billy Goat Gruff went down to the bridge and began to cross the stream. Trip-trap, trip-trap went his middle-sized hooves. Again the troll loomed out from under the bridge. "Who's that trip-trapping over my bridge?" he roared. Quaking in his hooves, middle-sized Billy Goat Gruff managed to say in his softest voice, "It's only me. I'm following my brother, little Billy Goat Gruff, so I can eat the sweet grass."
Oh, no, you're not. I'm going to eat you for breakfast, lunch, and tea.
Oh no, Mr. Troll, you wouldn't want to eat me. I'm not big enough to fill you up. Wait until my big brother comes along. He's much tastier than me,
Oh, all right,
said the Troll. And middle-sized Billy Goat Gruff scampered over the bridge and began to eat the sweet green grass with little Billy Goat Gruff. Big, bold Billy Goat Gruff was jealous and couldn't wait to get across the bridge and join his brothers. So boldly, he put his hooves onto the bridge. Trip, trap, trip, trap. Suddenly the Troll loomed out from under the bridge.
Who's that trip-trapping over my bridge?
He boomed.
It's me.
Big Billy Goat Gruff. Who do you think you are?
I'm the Troll, and I'm going to eat you for breakfast, lunch, and tea.
Oh, no, you're not.
Oh, yes, I am. You'll see.
Then the Troll rushed at Big Billy Goat Gruff, who bent his head and bravely charged at the Troll, catching him up in his horns and tossing him into the stream below. The Troll disappeared under the rushing water, never to be seen again. From then on, anyone could cross the bridge and enjoy the sweet green grass with the 3 Billy Goats Gruff.
Think about it. Now let's think about the video you just watched. What happened at the beginning? What happened in the middle of the story? What happened at the end of the story? Who were our main characters? And who was the villain? Did this story contain any of the fairy tale elements we discussed in our previous slides? These are the questions we'll be covering tomorrow in class, so I want you to take a moment and really think about your answers. Bridges. Think about the story we just heard. The Billy Goats needed to cross a river to get to the green grass on the other side. Of course, the mean troll played a big part in the story, but what about the bridge? If there hadn't been a bridge, there wouldn't have been a story at all, and those poor little goats would have gone hungry. Bridges have always been important because they allow people to travel over canyons, rivers, and streams, and they provide people with a way to travel to new places they could not reach otherwise. Fun fact, did you know there are over 500,000 bridges in the United States alone? And there are many different types of bridges. This is a simple diagram of only 6 different types of bridges. You may have seen these types of bridges around the city every day or when you travel. They help people get where they need to go. Bridges can be made from many different materials, including timber, concrete, steel, and any other strong materials. These materials are used by builders to create bridges of many different shapes and sizes depending on how they are meant to be used. What are some different uses for bridges? Most of our bridges are used to help people get to different places by foot, car, or train. But what are some other uses that you could use a bridge for? Large and stronger bridges, like the ones cars go across, are designed and built by experts called engineers. What is an engineer? An engineer is a person who builds and designs complex products, machines, systems, or structures like bridges. Engineers are people who want to know how and why things work. They have specific scientific training that they use to make practical things. Bridges around town. Here are a few examples of bridges people in Jacksonville use every day. The first is the Dames Point Bridge, pictured here. The Dames Point Bridge is a cable-stayed concrete bridge that crosses over the St. Johns River. This bridge is 1,300 feet long and 175 feet high. The second is the Matthews Bridge. The Matthews Bridge is a steel cantilever bridge that also crosses the St. Johns River. This bridge is 1,136 feet long and opened for use on April 15th in 1953. Some other bridges you might have seen around town include the Buckman Bridge. The Buckman Bridge is a steel stringer or a multi-beam bridge, also called a girder bridge. This bridge is 163,000 feet long and has 8 lanes of traffic for cars. Another is the Acosta Bridge. The Acosta Bridge is a continuous pre-stressed concrete segmental box girder bridge that crosses the St. Johns River. This bridge is 1,645 feet long. It has 6 lanes for traffic and cars, as well as 2 monorail tracks and 2 sidewalks. These are only 4 examples of the many bridges that connect the roads and people in our city, many of which cross over the large and important St. Johns River. Now maybe you'll pay better attention to the different bridges you see while driving around town with your family.